We all know the feeling, that creeping pressure, the subtle unease as tasks pile up and time slips away. The deadline looms, yet we find ourselves hesitating, delaying, or avoiding the work altogether. This, my friends, is procrastination. But what is procrastination? Procrastination is often thought of as laziness, but it's far more complex than that. It's the act of delaying or postponing tasks, often against our better judgment. We avoid doing what we know needs to be done, sometimes replacing important tasks with mindless distractions or busy work. But behind this seemingly simple behavior lies a deeper struggle, a battle between our present self and our future self. You see, the present self seeks comfort, ease, and immediate gratification, while the future self longs for growth, achievement, and fulfillment. Procrastination is born when the present self wins, pushing important tasks aside for the fleeting pleasures of the moment. Yet, procrastination is not just a modern phenomenon. It is a timeless human experience, one that has puzzled great thinkers, mystics, and philosophers for centuries. So, what can we learn from their wisdom? In this video, we'll explore not only the nature and causes of procrastination, but also dive into ancient teachings to understand how we can overcome this inner resistance and reclaim our time and energy. Together, let's unlock the ancient secrets to conquering procrastination and begin taking action towards the life we truly desire. At the heart of procrastination lies a battle, a tug-of-war between two versions of ourselves. On one side, we have the present self, who craves comfort, ease, and instant gratification. This self is short-sighted, driven by the desire to avoid discomfort in the moment. On the other side, we have the future self. This self holds the vision of long-term goals, growth, and accomplishment. The future self knows that the actions we take today determine the rewards of tomorrow. Yet, in the face of overwhelming tasks, fear of failure, or self-doubt, the present self often wins. Procrastination isn't just about poor time management, it's about avoidance, avoiding the fear that we might fail, the overwhelm that comes from starting something new, or the self-doubt that whispers, "What if I'm not good enough?" These emotions, fear, overwhelm, and self-doubt, create a kind of mental paralysis. We push things off, convincing ourselves that we'll start tomorrow or when the time feels right, but that perfect moment rarely comes. Interestingly, ancient wisdom has a lot to say about procrastination. Through the lens of Buddhism, Stoicism, and the teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, we gain a deeper understanding of this internal struggle, and more importantly, how to overcome it. In Buddhism, procrastination is viewed as a form of attachment, an attachment to comfort and an avoidance of discomfort. The Buddha teaches that suffering arises from clinging to things that are impermanent. We cling to the fleeting comforts of the present and avoid the uncertainty of the future. Buddhism reminds us that all desires and discomforts are transient. Procrastination, then, is a way of seeking temporary relief, but it prevents us from fully engaging with the reality that life is ever-changing. By accepting this impermanence, we free ourselves from the chains of procrastination, understanding that discomfort is a natural part of growth. The Stoics also had profound insights into procrastination. According to Stoic philosophy, procrastination occurs when we focus on things beyond our control, whether that's the outcome of a task, how others perceive us, or unforeseen obstacles. Stoicism teaches us to focus only on what we can control, our actions, our choices, our effort. The Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This powerful reminder of mortality is meant to inspire action, not fear. We procrastinate because we assume we have time. But Stoicism urges us to act now, in the present, knowing that each moment is precious. In Hinduism, particularly in the Bhagavad Gita, procrastination is seen as a result of attachment to the outcome of our actions. The warrior Arjuna, standing on the battlefield, is paralyzed by doubt and fear of failure, fear of success, and fear of the consequences of his actions. But the god Krishna advises him to act without attachment to the results, a concept known as karma yoga. He tells Arjuna, "You have the right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions." This wisdom speaks directly to the heart of procrastination. When we fear failure or success, we stall. But by focusing on the duty itself, on the task at hand, without being consumed by the outcome, we can break free from inaction. By drawing on these ancient philosophies, we begin to see that procrastination is not just a habit. It's a deeper reflection of our inner world. Whether it's the attachment to comfort, fear of the future, or a fixation on outcomes, these teachings offer us a way out. With awareness, mindfulness, and action, we can move beyond procrastination, embracing each moment with purpose, knowing that both the journey and the destination matter. The choice to act is always ours to make. Now that we understand the nature of procrastination, let's explore the underlying causes. Procrastination is often rooted in deep psychological and spiritual struggles. It's not just about laziness or poor time management, but a response to fear, perfectionism, and a lack of purpose. By delving into these causes, we can better understand why we avoid certain tasks and how to overcome these barriers. One of the most common causes of procrastination is fear of failure, or surprisingly, fear of success. We hesitate, not because we are incapable, but because our minds are consumed with the possible outcomes. What if I fail? Or what if I succeed and can't handle it? In Buddhism, fear arises from clinging to outcomes. The ego desires validation when it succeeds and seeks to avoid suffering when it fails. We procrastinate because our egos are terrified of what the result might mean. Success might bring new expectations, new pressures, or even envy from others, while failure threatens our sense of self-worth. Buddhism teaches us that both success and failure are transient. Clinging to either is a cause of suffering. By releasing our attachment to outcomes, we free ourselves from the fear that keeps us from acting. As the Buddha said, the root of suffering is attachment. Instead of being paralyzed by fear, we can focus on the present moment and take action without being consumed by the fear of what might come. Success and failure are not who we are, they are merely temporary experiences. Another significant cause of procrastination is perfectionism, the need for everything to be just right before we begin or finish a task. While striving for excellence can be a good thing, perfectionism often becomes a barrier, preventing us from taking action altogether. We wait for the perfect conditions, the perfect ideas, the perfect results, which of course rarely come. In Hermeticism, the principle of as above, so below speaks to the interconnectedness of all things. This idea reminds us that the microcosm reflects the macrocosm. However, the misunderstanding of this principle can lead to perfectionism. We might believe that small imperfections in our work will somehow lead to greater failures or flaws in our larger goals. Yet, Hermetic wisdom teaches us that the universe is not about perfection, but balance and harmony. Imperfections in the small don't necessarily reflect the failure of the whole. In fact, the pursuit of perfection can blind us to the bigger picture, causing us to delay and avoid taking action. The key is to embrace imperfection as part of the process. Just as the universe operates with both order and chaos, our actions don't have to be flawless to be meaningful. Procrastination rooted in perfectionism fades when we accept that good enough is often good enough. At times, procrastination stems not from fear or perfectionism, but from a deeper existential issue, a lack of purpose or meaning. When we don't see the value or significance in the task we're doing, it becomes easy to put it off. Without a sense of deeper purpose, even important tasks can feel pointless or tedious. The ancient philosopher Socrates famously said, An unexamined life is not worth living. Procrastination often arises when we haven't taken the time to reflect on why we are doing what we do. If a task feels meaningless, it's only natural to avoid it. But this is a symptom of a larger problem. We may be drifting through life without truly examining our values, our goals, and our purpose. Socrates invites us to live intentionally, to question the value of our actions, and to connect with a sense of purpose. When we do this, even the smallest tasks take on new meaning. The simple act of reflection can turn procrastination into purpose. When we align our actions with our higher purpose, procrastination falls away. We begin to see each task as part of a larger journey, one that leads to personal growth, fulfillment, and contribution to something greater. Fear, perfectionism, and a lack of purpose are the hidden causes that feed procrastination. But by understanding these causes through the lens of ancient wisdom and philosophy, we can overcome them. The path to action is not about forcing ourselves to work harder, but about shifting our mindset, releasing fear, accepting imperfection, and reconnecting with purpose. We've explored the causes of procrastination. Now let's focus on the solutions. Throughout history, ancient wisdom, philosophies, and mystical teachings have provided profound tools for overcoming procrastination. In this section, we'll explore how to take meaningful action by applying these timeless strategies in practical ways. In Buddhism, mindfulness is key to overcoming procrastination. One of the Buddha's teachings was the importance of observing the mind without attachment, simply becoming aware of our thoughts and tendencies. When you feel the urge to procrastinate, don't judge yourself. Instead, practice mindful awareness. Notice how your mind seeks distractions. By recognizing this urge, you create space between thought and action. This space allows you to make conscious choices rather than falling into old habits. You can also use simple breathing techniques to center yourself. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and focus on the sensation of breathing. Follow each inhale and exhale. This brings clarity to the mind and settles anxiety. The more you cultivate mindfulness, the easier it becomes to gently guide yourself back to the present and begin your work. In Hindu philosophy, the Bhagavad Gita teaches us the path of karma yoga, acting without attachment to the outcome. When we procrastinate, we often focus too much on the result. Will this be good enough? Will people appreciate it? The pressure of these questions can paralyze us. Krishna advises Arjuna to focus on the action itself and not be consumed by the fruits of that action. This is how we transcend procrastination, by shifting our attention from the future to the present. The task before us is all that matters right now, not the final result. One practical way to embrace this wisdom is to create daily rituals around starting your tasks. Simple, sacred rituals turn even mundane tasks into acts of mindfulness and meaning, helping you connect with the present moment rather than future worries. The Stoics remind us that time is finite. One of their most powerful practices is memento mori, or the contemplation of mortality. Marcus Aurelius said, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." By reflecting on the impermanence of life, we're inspired to take action. Procrastination becomes a waste of our most precious resource, time. Every moment we delay is a moment we can never get back. By embracing this reality, we stop waiting for the perfect moment and start making the most of the present one. In addition to reflecting on time, the Stoics teach us to break tasks into manageable parts. Focus only on what you can control. Take one small step and then another. This creates momentum, and soon you'll find yourself making significant progress. In Hermeticism, the principle of as above, so below reminds us of the interconnectedness of all things. However, when misunderstood, this principle can feed perfectionism. We may fear that small imperfections in our work will lead to larger failures. But true Hermetic wisdom teaches that small steps and imperfections are part of the greater process. Just as the universe is filled with both order and chaos, so too must our actions balance progress and imperfection. Perfection is an illusion, and waiting for it only leads to inaction. Embrace a growth mindset. Understand that imperfections are part of mastery. Each small step you take reflects progress on a grander scale. By moving forward, even imperfectly, you align with the natural flow of growth and learning. In Taoism, the concept of Wu Wei, or effortless action, teaches us to act in harmony with our natural flow. When we procrastinate, we are often forcing ourselves into actions that don't align with our current energy or state of mind. Rather than pushing yourself when your energy is low, identify your natural energy peaks. Align challenging tasks with these times and approach them in a state of flow, not force. Procrastination dissolves when you work with your energy rather than against it. From esoteric traditions such as alchemy and Kabbalah, we learn that procrastination often arises from a misalignment between the mind, body, and spirit. When one part of us is out of sync, it becomes difficult to take action. To overcome this, practice grounding techniques like meditation, visualization, or energy clearing. These help you realign and re-energize, bringing your system back into balance. When the mind, body, and spirit work together, procrastination loses its power, and taking action becomes natural. Finally, Zen wisdom teaches us the art of being fully present. Procrastination often happens because we're caught up in thoughts of the past or future. But when we practice one-task focus, we can fully immerse ourselves in the present moment. This form of Zen meditation involves giving your full attention to one task at a time without thinking about what comes next. When we live in the present, procrastination vanishes, and we find ourselves engaged, productive, and at peace with the task at hand. By drawing from ancient wisdom and timeless philosophies, we can transform procrastination into purposeful action, whether through mindfulness, detachment from outcomes, embracing imperfection, or aligning with our natural flow. These teachings remind us that the power to act is within us all. The journey starts now. From Buddhism, we learned the power of mindfulness. Becoming aware of our procrastination urges without judgment allows us to reclaim control over our actions. The Bhagavad Gita reminded us to focus on the present, embracing detachment from outcomes. It's not about the end result. It's about taking meaningful action in the moment. With Stoicism, we reflected on impermanence. Life is finite and time is precious. By breaking tasks into manageable steps and focusing on what's within our control, we can overcome the fear of starting. The Hermetic principle of correspondence taught us that tiny steps lead to greater progress. We don't need to wait for perfection. Every imperfect action is a step toward mastery. Through Taoism and Wu Wei, we embrace the flow of life, aligning our work with our natural energy and cycles. When we act in harmony with our energy, action becomes effortless. Esoteric traditions reminded us to balance the mind, body, and spirit. Procrastination often signals that something is out of alignment. Grounding techniques and energy clearing help us realign and move forward. Finally, Zen showed us the beauty of living fully in the present. When we give our full attention to one task at a time, we enter a state of flow where procrastination can no longer exist. Ancient wisdom offers timeless solutions for our modern challenges. The path to overcoming procrastination is not about trying to force ourselves into action. It's about aligning with deeper truths, understanding ourselves, and taking small, meaningful steps. So what can you do today? Choose one or two of these practices that resonate with you. Maybe you'll start with a simple mindfulness exercise to observe your thoughts. Or perhaps you'll create a small ritual around beginning your tasks. Whatever you choose, start now. Take that first step. Remember, procrastination has been a challenge for centuries, But these ancient teachings have guided people to overcome it, and they can guide you too. By incorporating even a small piece of this wisdom into your daily life, you'll start living with more purpose, clarity, and productivity. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, be sure to like and subscribe to stay connected with more insights on ancient wisdom and personal growth. And let me know in the comments, what ancient practice are you going to try today? Remember, the journey begins with a single step, and you have the power to take it right now.